Hi, Peter Charles here, folks for Life Fly Fishing, and today we're going to do the Mickey fin. Now I know I did that a long time ago, but that was under my old setup. This setup would be a little bit nicer. And I'd also like to talk a little bit about the history. As I understand it, it was, pardon me, produced in Quebec and originally termed the Assassin. And then an American sports writer found out about it and popularized it in the US. So it's a great bucktail. It's caught lots of fish for me over the years. I've caught pike on it, trout on it, smallmouth bass on it. It catches a lot of different fish. Oh yes, and Pacific salmon. I caught Pacific salmon on the thing as well. In fact, for a while, the Mickey fin was my go-to fly to catch Chinook salmon here in the Great Lakes. So let's get going and look at the tying here and the materials we're going to use. My hook is a Mustad streamer hook, and this is kind of classic. It's a 3 extra long, 2 extra heavy, and it's a size 2. The rib is this uni-French silver in a medium, and the body is going to be uni-mylar in the gold silver. This is the large size, a size 10. My thread is this Vivus 8/0 black, and I've got 2 shades of bucktail, red and yellow, that we're going to use for the wing. Okay, let's get going. Now what we're going to do is tie the rib on and the body mylar on right away. And the reason for that is I can cover it all with thread, bring it back, and then I end up with a relatively smooth body. You could also tie it at the end here, but you'll end up with a bump there. So, I mean, it's whether you care about the bump or not. This is the neater way, which we'll do today, but you could do it the quick way as well, either one. So we'll just pick both those up, hold them together, and I'll use the angle that I'm holding the mylar and rib to help skid the thread down, which doesn't produce too many gaps. It's, oops, there, I just say that and I'm busy talking and I produce gaps. Anyway, we'll live with it. Just keep winding till you get to the end of the straight portion of the shank of the hook. So watch out for your hook point. Now come forward. Now, as I said, this would have gone a lot quicker if I tied it in the end and tolerated the bump. Your choice. Okay, we'll wind on the mylar. Hold the mylar tight so it squishes down, and try not to get any black showing. Touching turns. We'll stop there, keep tension on the mylar, because this stuff will spring if you don't keep tension on it. Nice tight wrap to make sure that mylar stays put. You can fold it back and put a couple wraps in there if you want. That helps to trap it in place. Now for our rib. And sometimes I like to use hackle pliers for this. It just sometimes helps my old fingers. So we'll put a wrap right at the back, and then we'll start to come forward. There we go. See, with the hackle pliers, I can let go of the rib, and it will just hang there. It won't pop out. You know, we can wrap that back, lock it in place, trim off. Now the Mickey fin goes yellow, red, yellow. So we're going to start with the yellow first. Choose a small amount. Don't use a large amount because it will build up very quickly. You can see how little I'm using here. So I'll get rid of the short stuff, and I'll get rid of any of the ones that are particularly long. You can see I'm keeping this rather sparse, and I'm not stacking it, which is the other thing. So I'm going to make my wing about twice the length of the hook shank. Now, if you look at pattern books, you'll see lots of different approaches to this. I'm going to, oh, there's a short one. Let me get rid of that. There we go. I'm going to keep it very sparse and not stacked. Okay, use a pinch loop, pull up. Don't put too many wraps in. Make sure you're on top. Now you can bind down the waist end here. Finish that off, bring your thread back. There we go. Just make sure it stays on top. It is. Now for the red, you can see this is going to end up a relatively sparse Mickey fin. It's the way I've always tied them. I know other guys really make them bushy and they stack them. It's your choice. I prefer it this way. So let's clean this one up. I usually make the red a little heavier because there's only one red and two yellows. So we want them the same length. Make sure your thread is at the back. Make a soft loop, pull up. Now, you want yellow showing on both sides. So that sometimes takes a little bit of adjustment. There we go, we've got yellow showing on both sides. Now let's just take a look at this for a second. You'll notice that I'm not taking the wraps on the red all the way to the end. And that's so I can get a nice even slope to the head. If I was to take that to the end, the head would get blocky. And we just wind that down. Put a few turns at the back. There we go. Now for our final yellow. Now it would look neater if I stacked this, but I don't think it fishes as well when it's stacked. There we go, line that up. Just pull up. Okay, we want some red showing on either side, and we do. Bind that down. Make sure nothing moves. Sometimes you'll notice when you trim bucktail it does shift. Now bring your thread to the back and make some very soft wraps. Then come forward. The purpose of the soft wraps is to bring the wing down. As you can see, you don't want the wing poking right up in the air. Some people tie it that way, and that's fine. But I like my wings on my bucktails to sit down, to lay flat. Okay, we'll just finish off that head and whip finish. Okay, let's take a look. There we go. We've got red and yellow visible on both sides. You don't want a situation where the red covers up some of the yellow covers up the red. So your one side looks a lot of red and the other side looks hardly any. You want it to be even. Now we'll just use some head cement here. We're going to use some UV glue in this case. Okay, there's our Mickey fin ready to go fishing. It's quite an effective pattern. As I say, I've caught a lot of fish on the Mickey fin over the years. And, I think it's going to be a type of pattern that every fisherman who fishes bucktails and streamers should have in their fly box. because at some point in time, you're going to find the fish aren't hitting your usual stuff and you put a Mickey fin on and they start whacking it. So give it a try, the Mickey fin. Cheers.